Folks, what's up? Welcome back to the Multi-Faceted channel, the home for breakthroughs and the haven for all that is avant-garde and crazy unusual. Today is going to be the 5th episode and the completion of the previous Leadership and Dilettantism in Philosophy Part 1. So today is Part 2, and so a little rewind for you goes for the ideas of mine concerning being an amateur and what that could mean to a philosophical approach, also the same philosophical concerns for the idea of leadership and its approach to philosophical orientations. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Right here before you goes for the harsh reality of relating to something and letting go of others, and also for the sense of connection that may perish in the path of inconspicuous manners. And my opinion here goes for the point that is dreamlike related, folks, where submission becomes the inevitable dead end. As to doing nothing mechanism for a certain amount of time, it clearly doesn't do good at all to the scale of lifetime achievements. And to a given diet guide, for example, either way communally focused or individually focused, also intellectuality's vast pace of learning all about evolving something that's amateuristic, and as concerned with such a humongous realm of tribulations in terms of siding to any sense of connection, as in the form of help of enlightening those dreamlike entrepreneurial orientations or spirits too. Folks, these fixated mindsets like responsibility, overriding what I've been saying, maturity, gratitude are the ultimate approach of perceiving the sense of leadership from the dream's point of view. And a little trivia for the picturesque dream is to follow every given order, despite the disposition of a seamless 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 malfunction or jinx too, rather evaluated on account of the alluring or charismatic notion of luck. Also admonition for either going too far, able and brave, or following the path as though you're a follow-up of those trailblazers or pioneers that have been there first, and the characterization they left behind for the presumably vague sense of belief in whatever that happened to occur, though mysteriously peculiar into facts like choices and patterns chosen for leading this whole thing we're talking about, this God-given sense of mindset and being a dilettante along the way too. Do you see where this is all going? Amateuristic beliefs. I'm telling you, viewers, the second part is also a must-read article and a must keywords to check out in the description below, and all for it holds lots of stuff to the first part, and that of the things I'm reading here for you and trying to make it as simple as possible. Also for the very little details that humanity has managed to embrace and partially deduced profusion of liberal, for example, iconoclasm of critical thinking, in putting together a quagmire over becoming something at any given cost, or simply creating a name, or an entitlement eventually. This thing is to be epitomized and authentic too, yet actually it's also an act of terror which also epitomizes and alarms the structure of authentic entrepreneurial dispositions as to the weak aspect of continuity that is mingled with fear, and how obscure the world can be sometimes, you see? This point is mentally tiring itself. And the word, folks, as a very significant platform of irresolute concerns, it would have had the cue, like a line of both individually focused and communally focused breed of ignoramus, in the form of a criteria and standards of either way following the fact that a liability being originally brought up is to actually help the lounging about or the doing nothing mechanism through the very foundations of dreams and goals in the face of life, like being already ascertained or perceived by others, while universally paying attention to the latter disposition as the very universal purpose of living up to the reverie, or I say chimera here, which always sounded either dull and undulating with desires. It's so very tempting what I'm talking about here, and ending up eventually with the weapon of letting go and embracing the complaints and grievances kind of a way, it goes mainly bad from then on. For example, also a set of rules and regulations with basics that are too behemoths to be absorbed, for example, and my point is here goes for each epitome of satisfactory and dull confrontations in life, for example rights and duties, and either for prominent or ceremonious, for example respectful, and in reality esteemed as well. It is the case of friendship, folks. This is our new addition. Friendship and its availability alongside the delinquencies and maturity of entitling whatever there is of a successful career or a point in the vantage point of any sudden climax throughout life cycle. Also to further this point is, it goes for points like feedback, support, taking decisions, maybe leading away, facing a trouble, and mainly being quite energetic in venturing to step up the lines of qualities. Basically speaking, friendship in this respect of the second part of the video, it's crucial as to the imbalance of directions to be friended by the very friend that eases the provision of the colossally optional paves to choose from. Still, a good friend and a bad friend is an investment after all. You know what I mean? And the resort so far is philosophy itself, and it is to be through the sole coexistence of the role of friendship as it is a sway or an influence itself. Also, check this out folks, the whole friendship into what we're saying here is decidedly an amateuristic basis to follow as well. As mere example could be a friend who truly pisses away or pushes away the intellectual proportion one can possibly have or reach, only to grasp and get something out of lifetime cycle of achievements. And that is a livable fact. It's harsh, but it's a fact. So eventually I say to you, a good friend and a bad friend is still an investment after all, despite the orientations and directions. A lot more folks over which I'm accounting here for you is only little, very little, and still won't be telling you much at all, unless I'm teasing you so you can go and have a read. It's just spectacular informative. And so lastly, I wish to add that points like open-mindedness over conventional dullness when mingled over doing something and not being fearful about it, like I'm a dilettante or an amateur with lots to give, and also I ain't looking back, and over here these points like fear, cowardice, and aging to senescence, you know what I mean? I mean, it all just disrespects the philosophical gullibility and accusing modernism to cover up for what the decadent has to offer. Total asleep disposition over the amateuristic point of view and being born with the young mindset that seems to lead the way to a certain point. Being energetic and listless at the same time. This is what I'm talking about. Do you get where this is all going? And so having this whole multifaceted conception of life that's ready, powerful, and philosophical over mishaps and quagmires too, qualities like respect, responsibility, commitment, loyalty, originality, even decency, and all of these to the single-headed motion of leading something towards a certain direction, is just a dire bit of success and truthful act of a fulfilled achievement, folks. Is an investment itself once doable. It's a chimera, but it's doable. And it's also livable as well, but it's believed in, it's an intuition that is to be paid attention to, it's obligations to stick to, and in every paroxysm of thoughtfulness, mindfulness, and awareness of the status lived up to, it's just a lot more, folks, all in life. All into the right and most appropriate mindset, and all also in here, folks. For you to check it out, get deep enough, teasing for you folks today, go read the article, you will be surprised. And this is pretty much to wrap up this 5th episode of the second part, leadership, dilettantism, and philosophy. Till next time of yet another interesting subject. So please join us with your ideas, English language fanatics, as usual, with your very opinion on this one, as well as the article which I wrote on account and about. Hopefully for these keywords that have been very useful for you too. Check out the description here below. You'll be super relevant. And the whole platform also of being a dilettante. Let me know what you think of my own theories, and how also ideas sorted their way throughout the caliber of philosophy into one's life, despite the ups and downs in it, and being an amateur as well. Check it out, let me know what you think. I welcome all your comments and that of crazy ones too. Subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit thumbs up, also share and a like, for more madness and craziness are on the way. And on the way they're coming, as of these originality articles are to be examined and explained even more. Have it good, see you next time, and goodbye.